I very much dislike people in general. If I think there's like a basic standard of how to be a human, right? How to how to behave, how not to be an asshole, how to just be not gross, basically. Listen, I went on a cruise recently, and let me tell you, some of the people on that cruise were pretty wild. Like, I'm sure wild things happened on that ship. Personally, I was in bed by 10 o'clock, not even joking. That's half an hour past my usual bedtime, so I got pretty crazy. Let me just say, cruise ships are often full of people who are in the age group of knowing better. And by that, I mean 30 plus, right? Like, come on. Like, come on. So when I saw this video on TikTok, I was like, what's the situation here, right? Watch this with me. Okay, I just want to add in here very quickly before we start watching these videos. This gets increasingly worse, right? So this first video kind of just looks like this guy being told off by cruise ship staff, which it is. But the last video I'm going to show you today, towards the end of the video, you'll be like, what is this man's issue? How does this man function and exist? So get ready. It says, day before you get kicked off the biggest cruise ship in the world, smoking in the disco.
You smoke in front of the disco.
You know, you just need to just follow the rules, like.
So I didn't mean to smoke. I didn't mean to smoke. I didn't mean to smoke at the disco.
Okay, so quick. This is obviously like the captain or someone who works there. He looks very important, right? He is telling this guy, listen, you have been caught smoking in an area where you shouldn't be smoking. Listen, on a cruise ship, do you want to drown and die? Smoke in a smoking area. Smoke in the smoking area. You know what I mean? And then obviously his wife or whoever he's with is like, why can't you just follow the rules? What's wrong with you? And then this guy is like, I'm sorry.
Okay, so guys, first, I want you to take his responsibility for tonight. Okay, look after him for a while. Make sure he will not go out of the room. Okay?
I won't go out the room.
Christopher, listen. Okay, this is
With my drinks card, go back on tomorrow.
Okay, listen to me carefully. Okay?
So this man's about to be kicked off the ship, right? So he's being told you can't leave your room. You're basically under room arrest, kind of. You can't leave a room today. You have to stay in. You can't. And he's like, will my drink things go on my thing tomorrow? My card tomorrow? Listen, worry about your behaviors right now.
This is very serious. Alright?
Okay.
We give you first warning and this is our last warning.
I'm very sorry.
If you violate again, if you come out from your cabin again, okay, there will be a different situation. Okay, we might have to put you inside the room and the guard outside.
Do it.
Okay.
Do you want to go in that?
No.
Okay, so what I want you to do is cooperate with us.
I sleep tonight.
Your alcohol is stopped. Okay, we stop both of your alcohols. Okay, so don't drink and relax. You sleep for tonight. Tomorrow morning we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Who do I talk to? Can I talk to you?
You can talk to my colleagues in the morning. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Do not carry the speaker around the ship.
Okay.
Okay. Do not smoke inside.
Okay. Now listen, I know some people are like, it's harmless, but there's a kind of person that carries a speaker around and plays their own music out loud when in a world where headphones exist. Here's the deal, when you're on vacation, right, or when you're on a cruise, I've been on one and I'm acting like an expert, but with any vacation, not everyone is on the same kind of vacation, right? Like you might be going to the beach to relax, to breathe. Hopefully you're breathing. You know what I mean? Just to have a calm time. Whereas another group of people might be there to get drunk and do whatever, and that's fine. Do that in a you know, an area that doesn't disturb other people. But if you are carrying here's me, right? Here's me thinking. Here I am. I'm this guy. I'm packing for this cruise. I'm not even drunk yet. Who knows? Maybe he was drunk when he packed. Who thinks, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pack this speaker so I can connect to Bluetooth to my music and just carry it around blaring out my personal taste in music the whole time. Who does that? Who thinks that's a good idea on a cruise ship where you may have older people who are just going for a rest, a relaxing cruise? You know, who does that?
The cabin, do not smoke outside, you know, anywhere around the ship. There is a designated smoking areas.
Am I not allowed to, like, put my speaker on at all?
No.
No.
Anywhere?
No.
It's annoying.
Never.
It's annoying.
You're not allowed to play your personal speaker around the ships.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Good for you.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
Why is that a surprise? Why is that not like in your mind, that's annoying? You know, I know again, I don't get it, but when people are like, oh, it's harmless. No, it's not. It's fucking annoying. That's why there's a rule for it, right?
100%.
Okay. You're sure that you're not gonna come out from the cabin now?
Not at
No
all.
more problems?
No more problem.
Sure?
Yes.
Okay, alright. Thank you so much. Good
Thank
night,
you.
okay?
Have a very,
Thank you.
have a very good night. Thank you.
Alright, thank you.
Will my Jinx card come back on tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow morning we'll talk about it, okay?
Thank you.
So that's like the overall vibe, right, off this guy. Let me just show you this, right? This is the very night I was told off for smoking in the disco. Looks to me, nobody was angry at me playing my music. Here's the deal. I don't know why he's doing this, because he indeed was smoking. So this is his own music on his speaker, I'm assuming. Right? People are just trying to sit down and do their own thing. But usually there's music that plays around the pool. And then they're filming all these other people. Like, what are you meant to do? And there he is smoking. So what's the smoking in the... like, what's this? Because you are, in fact, smoking. Like these people, like I just don't understand how who raised you, who brought you up to be this disrespectful. Now, listen, being of a certain age doesn't mean you can't have fun, but being of a certain age means you know how to have fun and not piss people off at the same time. This is an area where people are clearly, like, there to relax by the pool, yes. And you know what? At night, that turns into a disco area.
Fuck off. It's too shit. What's this? Fuck off, Sarah. Shit.
And then he's just throwing the cigarette out the window. Like, that could hit some, like, that is so unsafe, incompetent, that is so ridiculous. There are designated areas where you smoke, where you put out a cigarette. Has this man never seen the Titanic? Like, ships do sink. Just because you're around water doesn't mean a fire can't break out. Smoking out of disco. Brief description of why I was kicked off 2 days later and how shit cruises are. How shit cruises are, or you're just angry because you were caught out?
Yeah, so, yesterday, bit of a mishap happened, when I was drinking. And, security guards surrounded me. Because apparently I urinated into a plant pot.
And I believe it.
But to be honest, it's not really as bad as they're making it.
There's a good way to piss into a plant pot?
So they've revoked my my alcohol drinking card, and then the security guard then proceeded to take me back to my room and wake Sarah up. She wasn't happy at all.
Fuck Sarah. You've done something, like, not illegal, but against the rules on the cruise ship. No one cares about her sleep. You have gone on a cruise ship and ruined a lot of people's fate. You're that person where people are like, oh my god, here they are. Oh, that's so annoying. Can I just give you a little tip as well? If you're going to wear designer, don't wear every single piece designer because it just looks tacky.
But yeah, I wouldn't actually recommend a cruise unless you're like over the age of like 60.
You wouldn't recommend it because you weren't allowed to smoke, you weren't allowed to piss in plant pots, and you weren't allowed to play your own music out loud. So you wouldn't recommend it because you can't annoy other people?
Or you've got children. Because to be honest, it just isn't worth it. I've been told to not play music.
Yeah.
Basically just anything that's like to do with fun.
For you. You carrying around a speaker playing your own music isn't fun for everyone else. It's fun for you. Your music's shit, first of all. That's a matter of opinion. So is your opinion of fun. Smoking wherever you want and then throwing the butt out the window where you don't even know where it's going is like also not fun. I just had to add as well here because some people are probably like, you throw it into the sea. But here's the deal. The swimming pools aren't on the like furthest down deck. They're more than likely up the top because that's where the sun is. So they're going to be on the top of a cruise ship. That can be the 15th, 16th floor. So down below them are rooms, there are balconies, there's lifeboats, there's loads of other things on those levels. So the swimming pool is at the top of this boat. And a huge cruise ship can have, 16 different floors. So he's throwing it out to loads of different other floors.
You're not really allowed to do it.
So it was like Harmony of the Seas, right? Yeah.
Harmony of the Seas.
It's the same as Symphony of the Seas.
Yeah, so like, so when I went on the Symphony of the Seas, I didn't realise the Harmony of the Seas would be the complete and utter same. Like, even like in comparison to each other, the Symphony of the Seas has pulled over next to the Harmony of the Seas, and I can't actually even tell any difference in the size of it at all. I just actually think what they do is they call it the new biggest one because they just put more rooms in there. There's not actually any more floors.
That's why we booked it, because we thought it was going to be different.
To be honest, like we got we went to bloody hell, I got mixed up. We went to Florida, and I'm quite gutted that I didn't get denied boarding on this cruise. So now I'm sitting here, and I just want to say to you, Symphony, it's the Royal Caribbean, I still got myself a rum and punch. Hey, over and out.
It baffles me how people like him don't realise how he affects everyone else. He's the kind of person, see, I wouldn't go on that cruise in case somebody like him was on it. You know what I mean? Like, making that kind of noise, smoking where he wants to. No, you ruin it for everyone else. There's reasons why there are smoking areas. There's reasons why you can only play music at certain times in certain areas. If you want to do your own thing, get a villa. Get a villa and do your own thing in that. Don't ruin on everyone else's time. I'm also going to add this in, right? Because he was also meant to go on his podcast that's about cruising. And he even managed to get escorted away before he even got on this podcast at this location. I'll add in some clips here too.
For anybody who wants to know the full story of my my cruise, for me getting kicked off the cruise, there's going to be a podcast that's going to be available. A 2-page spread magazine in W.H. Smith. So keep locked in and locked on, people, and you'll get the full story soon enough.
So that was this guy on his way to record a podcast. And I believe it's called the Sail Away podcast. I'll link it down below for you because they were going to interview him. This is, a lot of people saw this situation happen. So let me just explain because it's a little bit confusing as he goes into his podcast. So he obviously goes into the building where the studio is. Somehow, not surprisingly, he gets himself arrested or escorted off a premises, I should say, because he starts a fight with someone. How are you going to walk into the wrong building or wrong room accidentally and it turn into you getting escorted? You're like, oh, sorry, and then you leave. That's it. But anyway, so this is the podcast, realizing that has been escorted off a premises, but they do actually interview him over Zoom or over something like that. The guy who's being kicked off is increasingly difficult to understand, and it's not just his accent. I think he just slurs his words quite a bit, so apologies for that. It's not very easy to understand, but you'll see that there's text on the screen that says, "Get a grip, will you?" That's because this is from the guy who's kicked off. His name's Harry. This is from his TikTok, so he's talking about the podcast host. Okay, watch this. It's so strange.
So what are some of the most dangerous jobs on a ship?
Apologies.
Yeah, no worries. Okay.
The guy is running to a different office, and the general manager is calling the police So he's downstairs waiting, coming at any minute now. But I don't know if you guys want to have a chat with him or if we just wait for the police to arrive.
Well,
or if,
Are you joking?
Gobsmacked.
so when
Okay,
they went downstairs, the general manager.
can we
wait?
pause this for a second?
Yeah.
Let's just cut there. Might be a little bit longer.
I'm so sorry.
So have the police been called? We invited him for an interview on Sail Away Uncensored because of his behaviour on a cruise on Harmony of the Seas, didn't we? But we looked at his videos and we found that his behaviour was so alarming, and made even worse because he didn't seem to show any sort of remorse or guilt. But anyway, we were keen to invite him onto the podcast to sit down with him and see whether he had developed any remorse and to try and get an understanding about him as a person. And before we could even
Sit him down.
or even meet him, the police were called and
He's been escorted off the premises.
he's been escorted off the premises.
So what happened yesterday?
Went to the wrong room, stood outside, asked where the reception was, and the guy come out and he went, "Can you move away yet?" And then I retaliated, told him to go off, and then he called the police.
Why would anyone come up to you and say, "Move on, you," or whatever you said? Why would anyone say that?
I went to the front door, and he come out the thing, and he went, "Can you off you?" That's what he said to me, because we're on a Zoom call or something. I said, "I didn't know he was on a Zoom call. The door was open." I said, "I want to know where the reception is."
Were you drinking yesterday?
No.
You didn't post on TikTok saying you're having a beer in the morning or anything like that?
Yeah, I had a beer in the morning. Yeah, I had one
You
beer in
drank
the morning.
that day then?
I didn't judge, so I had one beer.
It was a blessing in disguise. I think there's someone upstairs looking down on us today, because if he can walk into the wrong building and start threatening someone,
Then I think the questions we would have asked him.
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have seen an answer. I think I would have seen a fist coming towards my face. So I think it's a very good job that I never got to meet him.
And I've heard music, so there you go again. There's music blaring, the disco, where it is. That's where that catchphrase comes from. I didn't mean to smoke the smoke at the disco when I got back to the room. Yeah, because literally I went in there. I didn't realise, because there's not really like any signs saying no smoking or anything like this, yeah. And I went in there and I had a few to drink, I'll admit. Yeah, so I wasn't like, completely with it anyway. But obviously I was a bit drunk. Walked in there, I said to a guy, I said, "Dog, have you got a light, please? You got a light?" And he pulled the light out, and I lit the cigarette up, literally just lit it up that second. And then it happened, "You're not allowed to smoke in here," and I put it straight out. But I didn't realise, because in the casino I could smoke. Yeah, you could smoke in the casino in certain places. So I've just come out on autopilot, and I know I shouldn't have done it. I just didn't think, like, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so right now we found him smoking in front of the disco.
Well, you know, you just need to just follow the rules, like.
So I didn't mean to smoke. I didn't mean to smoke at the disco.
I had to go for a light, lit up the cigarette. I was like, like, I shouldn't have lit this up here. When I got a tap on the shoulder, put it straight out. Then he escorted me back to my room and then woke my girlfriend up there. That's when he took me into the room. That's when I jumped onto the bed to record it, so I could get a good shot of, like, obviously what they were saying to me and stuff. That's why I said he's for boring people, you know. People ain't really got, like.
I think cruising.
He's boring.
No, I think
Coughing dodgers.
Sensible people.
Coughing dodgers and families. That's what it is.
You said about you playing music, and I saw that in one of your TikToks.
Yeah.
How do you think other passengers feel about, like, loud music?
Well, at the same time, with my argument is they're blaring out music like all day long, from morning until the evening, and I wasn't actually even blaring music out in the hallways or anything like that. I was like on the top floor, out the way of everybody else. I had like all the people I made friends with. Nobody was even bothered. We were all chilling together, listening to music, drinking, having a laugh and a joke. It was literally, I think, it was just the security. They didn't like the, I think the atmosphere. It was like, because like, we were not getting, we were partying. I'm trying to say, like, we were and I don't think they really like. I think they want everybody just sitting down and being quiet. And like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it just didn't seem like they liked the fact that we looked like we was having more fun than anybody. To be honest, we were.
No, if I was on a cruise and someone was playing loud music, I'd either say something or complain.
Exactly. But at the same time, this is what if someone had to come up to me and said to me, "Excuse me, do you mind turning the music down, or do you mind going somewhere else?" I would have quite gladly turn it off, or whatever, yeah, or turn it all down. I wouldn't have carried on. Like, but like literally every single person we saw had a smile on the face and was putting the thumbs up. It was like every single. It wasn't like I was doing it around people and disturbing them. It was like I was just one corner on my own, and then I just got quite through. Well, made quite a few friends, but throughout the day they're blaring out R&B or whatever they want to blare out. But that doesn't seem to be a problem with anybody, and that they've got a sound system, and like their sound system is a lot louder than my little speaker that goes over my shoulder. But I think
the difference is you know that's the ship. They always play like background music and things like that. That's
of course. Well, yeah, you could say background music, but it's blaring. It's a sound system, mate. It's like a party on there. You're not just gonna say like it's just the background.
I mean, I've only got like your TikToks to go by, but the one where you're at the smoking area, the music did seem quite loud there.
Yeah. That was the first day I was on party mode, mate.
All right.
Yeah, you know, on one holiday at the end of the day, there was only a few people as you could see around there, and then the guys who were sitting there, they all seemed happy, didn't they? You know, at the end of the day, I paid to go on holiday. I'm not gonna be sitting there and footing around. I'm there to enjoy myself. You know what I'm trying to say? So
I wouldn't like that as a passenger. That people have worked hard to save for the cruise they're on, and then you've got some yob by the pool. And I have to say, looking at him in his videos, he's the epitome of a stereotypical British yob that you would get in Benidorm or somewhere like that. But then doesn't belong on a cruise ship.
No, but then there's another thing he did as well, which was very alarming, was that while he was playing his beatbox or whatever it was in that clip, he then threw a cigarette out the window overboard.
That really angered me because as a ship's officer, but even if you've got a brain,
common sense,
you just don't do it.
So in that particular video, I noticed that you chucked a cigarette over the side of the ship.
Oh, okay, here we go with this as well. Let's just go onto the carbon footprint that ship fronts there every single day. Go and look at the carbon footprints of those ships, those cruise ships. And then go and look at how much the ashes are free. You go and look at all the rubbish that they pump out the back of the cruise ships as well, every single day, all the rubbish.
I think you're completely... hang on, you're missing the point.
I should have...
When you do your muster drill, you would have been told by the captain, and presumably you watched the safety video on your cabin TV.
They didn't, I'll be honest with you now. They didn't, right. I got onto there. It was really late in the day. I didn't even watch nothing. Right. They didn't put anything in front of me. No emergency thing or nothing.
I know.
That's not on their part.
All right. You should have done. They asked you to watch it, but
no, they didn't do it. Well, I was quite surprised about it as well. I even said something to them, and they didn't even say nothing about it.
The captain definitely made an announcement, and you would have been there because they even broadcast it through the cabins. It's maritime law, so they would have done it. And in that, they ask you to not chuck anything over the side of the ship, especially cigarettes.
And I should have threw a cigarette. But over. Yeah, okay.
It's not the carbon footprint so much, but in 2006, there was a cruise ship called Star Princess, and someone like you chucked a lit cigarette over the side of the ship, and it caused a fire that was so great it burnt through 300 cabins, 13 people were injured, and one person sadly died. That's why they ask you not to chuck cigarettes over the side of the ship.
Wow. No, I didn't even hear that at all. No way.
Do you think that was because you'd had a drink?
Maybe. No, I don't know.
So
Just for a cigarette.
it
I just
seems
think for the finest cigarette up.
you were definitely drunk in that video.
So what? I'm on holiday.
Yeah, you keep using that as a
Yeah.
justification, but it's
Yeah, I'm on holiday. I'm English.
so you're quite happy to jeopardise everyone else's safety just because you're on holiday and you're having fun.
What? Well, I didn't know flicking a cigarette off the side of a cruise ship would cause a massive fuss, to be honest.
I'm just curious to understand what you thought you were going to say when we spoke.
With what? I've accepted that. I was playing music on there, but I've just turned around and said, I'd do it, and I'll do it again.
Right. So when you
I am accepting response. Okay, I'm swearing around people.
Right.
You know?
But you've said numerous times that you don't give a shit. So why would anyone go up and ask you if you? Surely you turn around to them and say, "I don't give a shit."
No. Well, like I said to you, like straight away, stop twisting what I said. I said if somebody come over to me, I said turn it down. I don't give a shit what the shit said to me to not play my music. That's basically what I mean. I'll do it and I'll do it again. I'll do it again and I'll do it again.
I get the impression with this guy that he doesn't like someone telling him he can't do something. He is prepared to go through life and just do whatever he wants, and to hell with the consequences. And when there are consequences, like getting banned by Royal Caribbean, he's quick to blame Royal Caribbean and say, oh, well, cruising's only for old people.
But typically, cruise lines don't take it lightly when they ban people, though.
Cruise lines like Royal Caribbean don't want people to think that security staff on board are overzealous and you can't have fun and things like that. You said in your video that you've been banned from Royal Caribbean. Is that correct?
No. I haven't been banned from the cruise ship at all. I've got kicked off the cruise ship.
Where did they kick you off?
Cozumel.
Where's that? I'm not familiar.
It's an island, a Mexican island.
You said in one of your videos that you feel that a cruise is only suitable for those over the age of 60. Do you really believe that?
Yeah, well, I do believe it's for boring people, yeah.
Boring people that...
Yeah, just boring, yeah.
But we're talking about a guy who admitted on one of his TikToks that he's quite happy to get drunk and go around the ship urinating into plant pots and lighting up cigarettes at discos and chucking cigarettes over the side of the ship.
Yeah, so yesterday, bit of a mishap happened when I was drinking, and security guards surrounded me because apparently I urinated into a plant pot.
You mentioned in another TikTok something about a plant pot. What happens there?
Yeah. That was the morning after, obviously, the first night. I knew this was cool. And my new friends, because it was a bit hazy to me, the night was. I saw him, he said, yeah, he said, you in that plant pot, then? Yeah, I was like, what? Because the security never said nothing to me about this. I was like, what? This plant pot? He was like, yeah. Everybody saw you do it. But then I spoke to him later on that day, and he said, no, we already won you up. I was like, I made a TikTok about that. Because I actually, he's a bit of a haze, but yeah, nah, he was just rumours. People pulling my leg, to be honest.
This is why I refuse to use kettles in cabins on cruise ships, because
The amount of stories we've heard.
I've heard so many stories from people who've worked in the industry and in hotels where you get people that decide to get drunk and then they decide to do silly things like relieving themselves into a kettle.
Of course they cleaned them, but still, I just don't trust them.
Yeah. One of the things that he did, which really it pales into insignificance, really, the shouting and the swearing around people in a smoking area, you just don't behave like that on a cruise ship. And I do think it does beg the question, has there been a real slip in the sort of clientele and the sort of people you get on cruise ships nowadays? Because if you go back 2, 3, 4 decades, I don't think you got people like this going on cruises. I am not stereotyping all British cruisers by any means, but I don't think someone like him would have gone away, or has people's behaviour in general deteriorated?
Well, let's be honest, it's not the first time that we've witnessed poor behaviour on a cruise, is it? We've witnessed someone before sitting around by a pool who's decided to take his pants off and put them on his head as a hat.
Yes, and we got talking to someone on a ship once, and nice enough chap, and then he said, I'll be back in a minute, I'm going for a slash, and then we watched him go straight into the swimming pool, and 30 seconds come straight back to see us.
That was the last time we used the hot tub on that cruise.
You know, for example, his decision to just chuck a lit cigarette over the side of the ship and things like that. That's why there's very few smoking areas on cruise ships now. You know, each to their own. I've got nothing against smokers or whatever, but the reason you're no longer allowed to smoke on your balconies and they've got rid of ashtrays is because you get people like him and they are prepared to ignore the rules and put everyone's safety in jeopardy.
But that's the point, though. It's safety, because fire is one of the biggest risks to a cruise ship.
Yeah. He is an unusual character.
I see some of your other podcasts with the people that you're talking to on there, mate, and it's like watching a grey wall dry with paint. That's what it basically seems like to me. I watch your other podcast. It's like watching paint dry.
Well, I think this one will be found quite interesting because I think we'll see the true character of who you actually are. Why is it only for coffin dodgers? Like, what are things?
Because it's boring. Because he's boring. And like you said, you can't play music on there. You can't. It's just boring. That's why. For coffin dodgers, mate, it's boring. For cruisers, it's on there, to be honest.
But ships are dangerous places. It's how.
Oh, so dangerous for me playing music, isn't it?
No, I mean that you can't handle your drink, and there's a risk that you could fall over the side of the ship. How do you think that? What's so funny?
Oh my God!
How do you think?
You're just making it up as you go along, ain't you? You're just making it up as you go along.
No, I don't think you actually have a clue. Most people that fall over.
Okay. Oh, I was the only person drunk on that whole ship there, and you said. So
you were probably the only person in that cruise that was removed from the ship.
Yeah, good. Glad.
Well,
I am glad.
I think
I was happy.
That's the end of that. Because you
brilliant, mate.
Take any responsibility for your actions.
No responsibility.
And I really, well, it's good that you've got no interest in going on a cruise again, because I don't think many passengers would want to spend time with you.
Oh, well, you guys beat the other 20 people that I was friends with. I'm still friends with on Facebook now.
Are they like you?
Like me? They're millionaires, mate. I can show you they're millionaires.
So we'll end it there.
But, okay. Brilliant.
All right then.
Can we sort this money out then as well, please?
You won't be paid the £150.
Why is that?
You signed the contract. You'll know if you read it. You breached two clauses. Firstly, you threatened studio staff. So that's
He threatened me first.
No, not buying it. You threaten them. And secondly, you didn't do the podcast in the studio, and we were liable for a £500 fee. So absolutely no way are we paying you the fee. You can't behave.
I want to get my money back for my travel.
Well, what was your travel?
126 and then a taxi.
No, we're not covering that. You wasted our time and our money yesterday.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think he would ever admit that he did anything wrong. But I'm very, very intrigued to see what he puts out in the coming days and weeks, and see whether... I don't think he's going to be very happy. I mean, this guy travelled quite a long way to get to us in London, and he's been told to move on by police.
Let's wait and see.
Listen, I never want to hear, from what I've experienced, right? Not just from this guy, but in general, going to different countries, doing different things, traveling. I never want to hear English people complain about Americans abroad again. Because, my God, are some English people terrible in different places. It's embarrassing sometimes. So let's not do that. Because People can be shit wherever they're from. This guy is weird. I'm sorry, but he's straight up weird. Who gets kicked off a cruise, kicked out of a place to go and talk about a podcast about the cruise he was kicked out of? Like, sort your life out, will you? Okay, let me know your opinions down below. I just had to talk about that one. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you in the next one. Bye.